Hi, MissNikkiAnn again, and this is part 4 and hopefully the final portion. Um, it's an update with Q&A for the video I made called The Guest House Occupied by Pain. And so I'm just answering questions and so forth. And so then I had a final comment from Coco 8872. I really loved that poem by Rumi. It really put things into perspective. And she put a smiley. I know how debilitating and all-consuming, excruciating chronic pain can be. When I was experiencing it, I didn't have GI problems, so I was able to tolerate medication. Then she's asking, has your PCP discussed transdermal patches, fentanyl, etc. with you? Also, have you considered chronic pain clinics or doctors that specialize in pain? Oh, by the way, I'm always having uninvited guests in my house. They always overstay their welcome. And she did a smiley face. So I'm going to combine my answer to Coco with my answer to boy. Okay. I was asking about how the pain go, and basically saying by the time I do hope you feel better by the time I finish typing this. And I was saying I would address that because I didn't. So it goes kind of with Coco's. So like I was saying to patches, so I explained one pain factor that I have. I also have neuropathy, and I have my dysautonomia is presented with many things like chronic earaches that my ear, nose, throat doctor was like, it's not an ENT problem, and we're all just like, really? But then my first dysautonomia specialist said that many dysautonomics present with chronic earaches. She said only a small portion, but they have noted that some of us have that. And so I've got neuropathy, that. I also, with my mast cell activation situation, we think it's kind of ties in. I'm just overly sensitive to particles. Particles literally make welts on my skin. Anytime, that's why my mom doesn't vacuum when I'm home, because it falls on my skin and I'll see welts and cuts. When I was working, I remember commenting I went to my dermatologist. I was like, do you see these cuts? He said, it's the paper. It's the paper from the printers, and we also made books. And at one point in time, I was working in the copy room around the clock, and he was like, it's the paper. You're allergic to the paper, the toner in the machines. You're also being cut by the particles that fly off when you cut the paper, when you're making the books, doing the binding. Oh my gosh. And so I love my job, but it was killing me. And then I got another position, but my desk space was near the copy room. So he's like, the dermatologist was like, it's still the same. Plus I had a printer and a fax machine. I had all these things because of my position right at my own desk. And he was like, it's still the same. We're still dealing with lots of paper, lots of toner. And right next to me, someone had used my extra space. I was the assistant to senior VP. So I had more than one cubicle because they changed offices. The assistant used to have an office, assistant to the VP, but because of the new location, we just had extra cubicles, so we had big space. And they had asked if they could put some machinery there. What do you call those things with the real computers, the bases? And they were like spinning with the fans and spitting out heat and chemicals, and oh my God. So no wonder when my long-term disability company wanted me to try to go back to work and entice me by saying they would pay me my salary plus an added 50%. I was like, oh, I was so sick. I would go in and literally 5 minutes be at work and start having um, what my first neurologist said were TIAs, transient ischemic attacks, or mini strokes. But who knows? When we look back, who knows what kind of attacks those were? But anyhow, so lots of pain issues. So my skin, like I'm on my mother's bed, it's painful. My skin, when it touches anything, is in so much pain. So I have total body pain on the dermis, the upper dermis, but I also have pain internally. So my whole system is just dysregulated when it comes to pain. And then I already have the pain from, so when, and then remember I have the gastroparesis pain, and then I've got pain from all the different surgeries. So when the pain, when all of them are going, all of the pains are like attacking me at the same time, and my gastroparesis pain is attacking, and it's my colon, is my stomach is just not doing anything, and the meds aren't working. Oh my gosh, that's a level 7. And so now I'm going to tell you guys, and I'm just going to try to do it all in this one video. So because of my complicated issues where I have the gastroparesis, they do not want to give me certain things. But I have a dysautonomia advocate. I'm not going to say her name. And you know, there's a point where we're getting to the point where now quality of life, and even my psychiatrist is like, Nikki, it's a quality of life versus if the prognosis is that your life is more than likely not going to be, let's say, I'm just going to throw this out here, more than 20 years, then it's like your quality of life with your son for that 20 years or 10 years is just what they say. I keep saying 20. But anyway, and so you want to enjoy that part, you know, like pain, as pain-free as possible. I live with the level 3 pain every day. Nothing's gonna, you know, nothing I've done, even when I was a, you know, I didn't know, not, you know, like I said, morphine didn't touch that. And then I know there's certain types of pain from inflammation, pain from the pain from neuropathy. There are different types of pain, but my doctors have to view it as if we jack up one thing to fix the other, and the pain is back over there, or there's another problem. So they're like, I do have a pain management doctor that I went to in like 2008, 2009. I totally forgot about him. Like, he prescribed, and I was very particular about, and I was working on the stabbing pain. I can't, it's the worst. When that goes off, it's a whole nother level. There have been times where I'm going about my day, and all of a sudden I get that stabbing pain from my keloids, and I drop to the ground because it's so unexpected when it happens. I just fall to the ground, and I'm like, oh my God, drop to your knees pain. And so I went to the pain management guy for that pain. I didn't really want to go really deep about the other pain because, so I got the Voltaren gel just to apply to that area. Because I was a mom, I was just very particular about, because I am a mama, what I was going to do about the pain. But now I think, now that my illness has progressed, it is time to revisit you know, different options. And so I will be doing that, making an appointment with my pain management doctor. I know he's going to be like, where have you been? I mean, that Voltaren couldn't have been that great. But along the way, my rheumatologist, the dysautonomia specialist, and everyone was tending, my primary cares were tending to the pain. So I didn't need him. You know, I had the tramadol, and for a minute that was working. You know, so Neurontin, 1,500 milligrams a day. You know, I had things that we were doing. And so it's not as if the pain was left unattended to. But now the quality of life is an issue because I have so many other things to deal with. And now onto the story. So yes, Coco, I've discussed fentanyl. I discussed all of that stuff back in the day with the pain management doctor. But I am going to revisit that. And so Al, your point about, so Friday when I made the original video, about to bring it all home for you guys. I did not get, because I took the I took the Neurontin. It's gonna take time for that. No, if 1500 didn't work, 300 a day, I doubt very much it's gonna help. But so by 5 o'clock, and I don't want to tell you how many people I was on the phone with the office with my advocate. My mom spoke with the office on a separate occasion. I spoke. My mom, I think, finally drove the mail home because they have met her many times and know that, she is there as representative when things are really bad. I bring her to the office if things are really bad and I don't have time to bullcrap around and I need help. She's there to advocate for me. And so after they'd spoken with her, next thing you know, things were moving and shaking. And so but she had to do research. The nurse had to research for the doctor. Like, what can we give her? Her stomach's not working. What can we do for her that is going to actually get into her system? Because the pain may be able to be relieved without a narcotic. We don't know, because the stomach isn't doing what the stomach's supposed to do. So I have Sprix. I don't know if you guys can see that. Okay. You put that in your nose. I'm not going to tell you the milligrams because this is the lowest, I think, 15.75 milligrams into the nose every 6 hours. Now, I got it at 5 something in the evening. I started the phone calls at 8 a.m. and made about 20 calls total with other people on the line, or 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and I finally. So by then, and remember, the pain had started the night before. So by the time, and remember, I was taking meds and they weren't working at all. By the time I got this, the pain was so high. And then, of course, you're not supposed to wait for your pain to get that high, and I didn't. I was doing what I was supposed to do, staying on top of it the night before, like, ooh, this is a 6, I'm going to have to really, up this to every 4 hours, blah, blah, blah. Didn't work. So I was trying, and that's why I called at 8 o'clock in the morning, because I knew the pain was getting ahead of us. So by 5 o'clock, and because I fought, she didn't want to do anything other, she said that they could up the Neurontin. I've been on 1500. How far was she going to do? And it's not going to set in until a couple of weeks. Neurontin for me takes a couple of weeks for me to see its effects, which isn't much. Yeah. When I say isn't much, it's like at some point it wasn't doing anything. Because when I stopped it, there was no difference in my life as far as I noticed no change when I stopped taking that 1500 a day. Except for I was a little bit more with it. It's bad enough I can't pull information, but on that much Neurontin I couldn't pull jack. Okay, my poor son. And so I started this. This did not kick in until Friday. Saturday was bad. It kicked in Saturday night with a little relief. I wasn't seeing it do its full thing. And then something happened and I missed it by an hour. Yesterday was hell. So I went and took it, and I still have not gotten it fully under control. Now, what I'm feeling right now is tolerable to where I get on here, and if my son needed help with something, I could tend to him without snapping his head off. But it's still, and plus, it doesn't have a preservative. So once you open the bottle, you have to use that part within 24 hours and then throw it away. Regardless if it has a lot in it or not, throw it away. And so I hadn't measured the time right. Then I realized, I said, Mom, and it's not, something's wrong. Because when you spray this in your nose, you go through these changes. I mean, then all of a sudden your nasal passage is clear, and you're like, oh, and then it's going down your throat. you go through like a 5-minute change, and it looks like that. My mom and son are laughing, like, and I can't help it. It's that bad. But one time I took it, I was like, Mom, I didn't go through any changes. She said, I noticed you didn't do all the contortion. And so it was because I was, when I say a little over the 24 hours, and I had still used the same bottle, and it wasn't as potent. So they mean 24 hours. I would say think of it as 23. This way, you know, but it's working because it goes right into the membranes, and my advocate knows about it and says, yes, this is for moderate to, low severe pain. And so I think once it really works through the system, this is good. This is good, but you shouldn't be on this every day. It's for these type of occasions. Get it in there, get into the membrane and so forth, and bypass the whole colon process. So I'm with it. I'm just waiting for that pain. So I took it at 5 a.m. This is an older bottle. Look how much is left. Some people take 2. So if you were taking 2 shots of this in the nose, you do one here on the right, and then you do another on the left. But I only do one. So you would switch nostrils. You just want to pump it into. And then to prime it, you 5 pumps to prime it. So I primed it, used it for the full 24 hours, and I still have a lot in there. And that can be deceiving. Don't use it. Okay? Even if it seems like, my God, we didn't get our money's worth. It doesn't matter. There's no preservative, so it's not going to do anything for you. Just like I use the preservative-free eye drops. And so, I love those. I love those. But again, preservative-free. So that's where we're at with the pain. I'm still from Friday. Actually, when you see it, Thursday night. Thursday night, it just came on out of nowhere strong, and I'm still trying to get it under control. The stabbing fall to my knees pain, that one. The other pains, yesterday they were really bad, but again, even on this stuff, but again, those I can kind of make it through. They're not a 7, they're a 5. Okay? So multiple pain issues. I am now on Sprix. We'll see what happens. I think I'll call my primary care in a couple of days to kind of update them on how it's going. Especially when you raise hell with someone, you should check back in with them. They appreciate that. You call Raising Hell, let us know how it's going. They need to know about everything, And I just drop in all the time over there because it's in town. It's right in the area where I pass by, and they'll just show up and start complaining about something. I really, I left my other primary care and I chose this one. So I'm trying to build a relationship for the rest of my life. However long it's going to be. I need someone who's in for the whole ride. Even if we have to fight and tug with each other, at least they're willing to fight and tug. There's some doctors who won't. When, you've got an illness that no one understands, you need someone who's like, we can try stuff. If not, my God help you. It's hard enough with the people you got to fight and tug with. And then some doctors are too willing, and you have to wonder about that. I want you to kind of look out for my health. You are the doctor. Let me know about what could happen. Some people just hand out meds, people. Hand out meds like candy. Okay? I don't want that either. So you need a little bit of a tug, like, Nikki, we don't want to do that because of, well, you don't want to do it because of my but so I need to know that you want to talk about all of it. And if you want to argue about it, that's fine. But at the end of the day, you need to give me something for the issue. Because I'm at the doctor's office. I didn't go to the backwoods of some country to seek some, listen, let's be honest, I'm on medications. That's the road I'm taking. So help me with those that we have, People used to die of these things that we have. Gastroparesis, people still die of complications from gastroparesis, complications from POTS, You don't hear about those stories, right? They're out there. Research. Take your time, research. People die from the complications of the things that we have going on with our dysautonomias and autoimmune issues, and because I have both, and just chronic illnesses. You would be amazed that the little complications they die from because no one knew, like especially with something like multiple system atrophy and urinary tract infection. People die from complications with those, and because it's such a rare thing, you have to find a write-up about that in the newspaper. So that's it, guys. And let me say this, and there's no one answer to any of this. There's no one answer, and I at least have a doctor who's willing to push and tug. But some people don't have that, and I have people who will advocate for me and help me to push and tug. And there's no one answer. There's no, you should have done this, you should have done that. We're dealing with human beings who have personalities and things going on in their day that you don't know about from your end. So what you think, because everyone was saying, oh, Nikki, you just have to call and speak to them a certain way. No, I did that. It didn't work. You never know what's going on the other end. So you need to have a bag of tricks, a bag, and move from one to the next. And then also you need to know when to say, I'm tired and I need help with this. With people who would do it the way I would want it done. Okay, not doing it and doing it the way but the way I would want it done, so that I have to have a relationship with this doctor's office. I don't need you to ruin that for me. So I need for you to be savvy about the way you communicate and respectful. You can push and pull and still be respectful. It's not just by I know all the answers to this and you need to. No, that's not going to work. And then you have to go in office a week later for some other issue and face those people. And then you have to go in with a chip on your shoulder because you spoke to them like you was crazy last week. No, there's a medium and it's a dance, and I'm surviving the dance. That's important. I'm surviving. I survived that pain. It was not fun. I could not function properly, but I survived it. Thank you guys for your questions and your comments, and I hope that one day this video, as it is archived and grows dust, that one day it will help someone to better understand their lives or the lives of someone they're concerned about. And maybe even the doctors in their research to understand what we go through, the healthcare community to understand what we go through, and to hopefully change some things. I don't think anything's ever going to be perfect. That's not the ride. That's not the game. But to tweak things and over time make things better for the doctors, the patients, the whole healthcare community. Okay, be good, be patient, be in the moment. And my God, the patient part, be a patient and not a doctor, but be willing to be a knowledgeable patient. Because sometimes you can know more than your doctor, and you can present it in a way that's respectful and that, helps you to keep some control over your situation. But also be patient with the healthcare process, because it is jacked up. And not just for us, the doctors have a lot that's jacked up for them, and they feel afraid to do things because of how the system is. So let's all be a patient, a knowledgeable, patient. All right, and be an advocate whenever you can, because there are people out there who need us. Thank you, guys.